Support for Radio Friends comes from Le Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact Le Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, June the 6th. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Today I want to introduce you to Abbey Rimel, who is with the Daniel Boone Regional Library. Welcome back to Radio Friends, Abbey.
Thank you.
Last time you were here, we were talking about summer reading and some of the things that you had going on. What have we got today?
Well, today we're talking about Excel Adult High School. This is a relatively new program offered by Daniel Boone Regional Library, and this is an entirely online program where you can, it's nationally accredited high school diploma program where people who, for whatever reason, were not able to get their diploma the first time around are now able to do that.
So for anyone who has never been to high school or did not finish high school?
Did not finish high school.
So you had to have some high school?
Well, you have to have at least completed the 8th grade.
Okay. So if you've completed the 8th grade, then you can go online
you can apply
and get your high school diploma. So how is this done? Is it 4 years?
No, this actually, it's a maximum of 24 months that you can use to gain your high school diploma. Some people can finish in as few as 3 to 6 months, depending on how many high school credits they're able to transfer over to the program. So it's really not a 4-year thing. It's rather brief. It's online, and they have instructors available to you. They have tutors available to you, success coaches, all of this.
Is this done at the same time where everybody is in a class at once, or is it all individual?
It's self-paced. So you go and you get onto your program. You choose which course you want to work on that evening, and you do some reading. You take some quizzes. You can just focus on one course at a time, or you can go in and check in on 3 or 4 courses at a time.
Just like you would in school.
Yeah.
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 And it not just in the evening, if you can do it during the day also.
Sure. It just depends on your schedule.
Okay. So if people want information on this, or if they want to sign up to get their high school diploma, what do they do?
They can come to DBRL.org. And if you just do a quick search for EAHS, Excel Adult High School, the page comes right up, and they can get started learning about the process, how to apply. There is an application. There's a real short prerequisite course that takes about 2 weeks. And then there's an in-person interview that we do before we give someone a scholarship.
An in-person interview where they have to come into the library?
They come into the library. There is an option to Zoom if they'd rather not come into the library.
But if they want more information, the telephone number to call would be?
Just our regular
phone number at the library.
Number.
But the best thing to do is go online.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Abby, thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah, thank you, Paul.
Now, I want to introduce you to Sarah Eber, Central Missouri Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Good to have you here, Sarah.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be here.
We're almost in summer, officially June the 21st, but we're going to talk about food safety for summertime, right?
That's right. I've already heard of a lot of situations of some foodborne illness. Very recently, there was an outbreak of hepatitis A linked to strawberries. So there's a few things, and a lot of us know this, like wash your produce, but it just always helps to hear it again. Wash all your fresh produce and make sure you're taking good care of that. You know the source that it comes from, and wash it. Now, you don't have to wash like the bagged lettuce or the bagged spinach if it says 4 times washed.
Yeah.
But if you purchase lettuce and spinach, those kind of leafy greens locally, be sure to wash them. Know your local producers, and you should be fine.
Okay. Now, when you talk about I buy apples, I buy cherries and grapes. When you talk about washing them, you're talking about just rinsing them, right?
Rinsing
you're
them
not
very
washing
well.
them with...
No, you don't, and a lot of times you don't even need, definitely not with soap.
Right.
You don't even really need, as much as you got to be careful, don't want to upset anyone, you don't need a lot of those products that rinse your produce. You just need a good, solid rinse of good, clean water.
Yeah.
And with your berries, if you've picked them fresh and they're not quite ripe, it's okay to leave them on the counter like at room temperature, but right before you eat them, make sure you rinse them very well. And then likewise, when you're serving food, this is the time of year when it's 90 degrees and humid, and it only takes about 10 or 15 minutes for bacteria to overgrow. So if you've got cold food, put some ice up underneath it and then put the container on top of the ice and keep it cold.
So you're telling me that if let's say you've made potato salad, it's been in the refrigerator, and you made it yourself,
Right.
been in the refrigerator, you're going to eat outside on the deck.
Right.
You take that potato salad out, and you've set it out, and you've got your pork steaks or whatever you're making.
Right.
Dinner takes about an hour to eat, right?
Or half an hour.
Is it not safe to have that potato salad out there?
Absolutely not. After about 10 or 15 minutes, it really does need to be refrigerated. So that's why it's a whole lot more convenient and social.
What if you got it on your plate and you're taking 15 to 20 minutes to eat?
If you had it on ice before you dipped it, then you'll be fine. But the longer it sits, the more likely you are to have bacterial overgrowth. So if you've had it sitting on ice for say 10 or 15 minutes and covered, pork steaks come on, you dip it out. It's still good and cold, right? Mm-hmm. And on your plate it goes in, you eat it up. So even if it's been sitting there 15 minutes, you're eating it, it's going to hit that stomach acid, you're good. But if it's sitting out here and then you see there's a little bit of lag time, you want to keep it on ice if you've got it sitting outside.
Now, how many people do you think realistically do that?
Not very many, which is why we're talking about it today, right?
Okay. Yeah, because
I've been trying to. I'm bad about it, but I don't want anybody sick when they come to my house to eat. That'd be bad news for the dietitian, right?
You want to make sure that it stays on ice.
Ice, yeah. It's not a hard thing to do. Throw a little ice on the bottom, pop it in. And nowadays, and matter of fact, I think Art in the Park is next week, it would have been a couple of weeks ago. A lot of those pottery dealers will sell really cool little dishes that won't weep all over your tablecloth. You can put ice in them and put your cold stuff right in the middle. It's fabulous.
Okay, let's talk about washing the fruit again. Like cherries. I love cherries, and they're here this time of year.
Right.
You grab a handful of cherries out of the bag. What I usually just hold them in my hand and I run water.
And I shake them a little bit so that you get a good rinse.
Okay.
And honestly, on my apples, a lot of times I'll put a good sink full of water and let them sit in cold water for just a minute or two, then rinse them.
Why is that?
That way you get a little bit more time for stuff to kind of come off.
Now, do they, in the store, we're almost out of time here, but do they wax some of the vegetables?
Yeah.
Is that wax harmful?
No, wax is not harmful.
Okay.
But it still can hold on to bacteria, which is why rinsing is still a great idea to do.
If people want more information, where can they go? They
can go to the Missouri Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics website or to the Lincoln University Cooperative Extension Human Nutrition and Health Program website as well.
EatRightMissouri.org or Lincoln University.
Right.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for coming by. Stay healthy and safe this summer.
And safe this summer, that's right.
Okay? Something you'd like to hear or see, we'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. When you go out and about today, be nice to each other and smile. Bye-bye.